What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James, RedemptionAgency.com, 22 years, selling full-time on eBay. Today I want to get into a discussion about Veros and counterfeits. I'm going to give you a rundown of what happened with me, a detailed rundown. I answered a question that I knew what the answer was. Well, I asked a question. Somebody asked a question. I knew what the answer was going to be before I asked the question on why their items got taken down for a Vero. So we're going to just do a update Vero counterfeit thing. The best way to play a game is to know the rules. The most scariest rules, especially right now going on with eBay, is the counterfeit claims that are falsely put on our accounts, and the newest part of Vero. So if you want basic Vero like Velcro and onesies, that's not this video. This is advanced Vero, advanced counterfeit. So there's plenty of videos out there with that stuff on it, the detailed stuff. And you get questions a lot, well, why can't, just don't list nothing on the eBay Vero list and stuff like that. And that's not the way to go. And I'll explain why and go into details. So if you're not familiar with what's going on, apparently it seems eBay now has an automated bot that is going through the whole process of finding, verifying, and striking your account if it thinks an item is counterfeit, even when it's not. So that's a scary thought within its own. So how this all started for me, I started getting hats taken down. They were Budweiser hats. Well, the first one was St. Louis Rascals, which is a Little League team that was sponsored by Budweiser. So that was taken down. It said it didn't affect my account, so I'm just like, weird, whatever, moved on. Then a few days later, 2 or 3 more came down. They were Budweiser St. Louis Cardinal baseball caps, saying they were counterfeit. So again, saying it didn't affect my account, but I'm like, no, this is not cool. So I call in. Now, here's where another problem within eBay lies is it depends on who you talk to with what answer you get. There is no structure. It's like eBay is a need-to-know basis, it seems like, and the less they know, the happier eBay as a company is, it seems. It's very odd. So I call in, I explain what happens. She sends me to the people who handle Vero, counterfeit Veros and stuff like that. So I get a gentleman who is clearly seasoned and or had authority. He looked at them himself. He goes, yeah, there's nothing wrong with these. And he reversed the counterfeit claim. And he was not understanding why they didn't, he said he didn't understand why they didn't go in front of a human. So that apparently was maybe the first transition of that bot going through the whole process. And even somebody in the Department of Counterfeit and Veros did not know about it. Scary again. So he took them off my account, fine, and then whatever. So as this is going on, I'm trying to figure out why this bot is taking these items down. Well, I'm trying to figure it out the next day or something. Several more come down. I'm like, all right, this ain't cool. Call in. This time the rep sends me again to the counterfeit Vero section. Now this person I get has no authority to do anything, apparently. They have to go into a chat to try to get permission to do something. They can't get a hold of nobody. So they give them my information, call back in 24 to 48 hours, which never happens. Never happens for me. So I'm frustrated. Again, it said it doesn't go against my account. But the last time, the guy said, just call it in anyway, because you don't want that. You just don't want that. So I'm like, okay. So the second time led to a brick wall. The first lady said she can't do it. And I can't remember what she was saying, but she would, read off excuses as to why they were counterfeit when they're in fact not. So I played with the idea, trying to figure it out. And the conclusion I came up with was it had a brand name in the title, Budweiser, every one of them did, but the brand of the hat was unbranded. Now, I did that because technically the brand of the hat is unbranded because they're giveaways, stadium giveaways. They're mass-produced in tens of thousands, and they're given away for free. So they do them cheaply. They're on unbranded hats. So apparently this bot is taking name brands in the title, taking item specifics, and saying, hey, this clashes counterfeit, when it clearly don't have all the information within its system to make that judgment call. Scary. So I go in, I change all the Budweiser hats to Anheuser-Busch as the brand. All the rest of them, I ended up getting rid of the word unbranded for brand and just used the word hat, because I've noticed over time when I would try to list a hat, the item specifics automatics would always try to make the brand hat, H-A-T. I never even heard of a brand of hat called hat, but it was trying to make the brand H-A-T. So I'm like, all right, well, if it's trying to do it, maybe that's telling me something. So instead of unbranded hats now for me are called hat, if it's not of a major brand. If it's unbranded Jack Daniels, unbranded Budweiser, it automatically gets the name of the major brand as the brand. So again, what's scary about this is we had to figure this out on our own. Nobody within eBay could figure this out or told us what the hell's going on. We had to figure this out, and it took 3 potential strikes against my account to figure that out. Scary. So I'm like, okay, I got all that beat. Let's move on. So yesterday, and now I'm going to give you detailed details and why I think and what I think. Trying to figure it out since we get no answers. So I had a high school t-shirt taken down, a high school in Texas. Not a counterfeit item. It's a t-shirt in Texas. JFT or something, Jaguars. On a Gildan t-shirt. It gets taken down on the UK site, the Australia site, and another international site. I didn't pay attention to which one it was. I call it in. So I get the first rep who sends me to the Vero counterfeit reps. Well, again, she don't have the authority to do anything, but she's trying to tell me the reasons that it got taken down. I can't remember which one gave me the reason I'm getting ready to tell you, if it was the second person or the third person. Or no, I only made it to 2 persons. She did get a hold of somebody on chat who had the authority to reverse that counterfeit, but said he cannot reverse that counterfeit. Scary. It's not a counterfeit item. And now it can't be reversed. And this actually is a hit on my account. Then she proceeds to say, well, any Gildan t-shirt, if it has a print on it, is technically is bootleg. Well, you know what? I got a Disney shirt on. I bought this when Nightmare Before Christmas first came out. It's got Disney right here in the corner. It's on a Fruit of the Loom t-shirt. In her theory, this is a bootleg t-shirt. Her theory is, this is an eBay representative telling me this bogus lie, right? So here I am left again in the cold going, well, what's the real answer? How can I figure this out? So what I decided to do, first thing first, right off the bat, is I went in and changed all my Gildan branded t-shirts to just shirt. Probably didn't matter, because where I'm thinking that the problems lie here, probably didn't matter. They could have been left Gildan. Because here's what I've kind of come up with. Jaguar. It's a brand name car brand. This was taken down in the UK and Australia. Do they even have little league teams there? I don't know. Do they have high schools called after brand names? I don't know. I'm thinking if I take the bot from the first and apply it to the bot of the second, it took Jaguars and Gildan, and they clashed. Instead of Jaguar, Jaguar. Or Jaguar, however you want to say it. And they clashed, considered counterfeit. I am like 90% in that direction now, that is the reasoning, because it mirrors the first reason. That being said, the fact that it happened on the international sites and not on the US site could just mean that there's different ways of looking at things via the sites. Because I'll get into cross-listing internationally here in a second, but there are things that eBay doesn't tell you. It's entered into the whole world of international shipping, but there's things they didn't tell you that could hurt you. This could be one of them. Nothing happened to my item on the U.S. site, as there shouldn't be. We live in the U.S. We know there's high school teams called Jaguars. There's Little League teams called Jaguars. There's professional teams called Jaguars. There's a car called Jaguar. Something's going to be on a Gildan. There's no reason to put those two in a mix together to make them clash, at least over here, one would think. One would think. I didn't leave it up long enough to find out. He said, well, go ahead. I was directed to go ahead. I better take them down. So I took them down off all the sites. So, is something programmed different on those international sites it was taken down off of? That's what I'm leading toward. So as of right now, I'm not worried about any other repercussions. Another thing I immediately did was went into Web Interprets, who for me is what cross-lists on the international sites, and I can put block words. So I put t-shirt in the block word. So none of my t-shirts are going to be cross-listed internationally now. I've got so many blocked words, and now we'll get into eBay, Vero, international Veros, and such. So on my Web Interprets cross-listing, I have Levi's, I have Nike blocked, now I have t-shirts blocked, I've got phone blocked, and there's probably some others that I'm not thinking of right now. So we'll just go with the basics that I can think of. Now, when eBay started putting all you guys in this global shipping program, what they didn't tell you is that, oh, make sure you don't have, new Nikes, because if you're trying to sell them to a country where they were not released, you're going to get a Vero. If you try to sell an cordless phone to the UK, I believe it is, it's going to cause problems because of the frequencies. And that leads to even what companies are trying to do now here in the US with loopholes. So the fact that eBay threw people into this program and people got automatic strikes, scary. Now, the thing that's going on now, business, politics, law. What those three things have in common? Loopholes. Loopholes galore. That's how politicians can do things and not go to jail. That's how business can pay no taxes. That's how people can get out of doing criminal acts. Loopholes. So, I'm going to do a search real quick just to see if this falls into my not outlandish theory, but a deeper theory. Okay, it doesn't look like they have one. All right, so that kind of fits into my deeper theory. All right, so what companies are trying to do now, as this post was yesterday on Facebook in Reseller Water Cooler group run by Lonnie and Candace, the Shed Flips. Somebody had 10 Harley Davidson t-shirts in their store. 3 of them were taken down and Vero'd, and they were wondering why the rest weren't. They know they're authentic. They bought themselves at the Harley, or at a location that sells Harley merchandise. they have receipts. So the post says. So I automatically knew why those 3 were taken down, so I wanted to make sure. So I asked the question, were those taken down new shirts? Got the response back, yes, they were. So here's where companies are doing now. Now Nike, if you try to sell new Nikes to a country that they were not released in, you're going to get a Vero. Now other companies are finding the loophole of authorized retailer. Now, if you don't understand that, brands give their permission to companies to sell their merchandise. Nike will give, like, Foot Locker permission to sell their items. Nike will give shoe stores, mom and pop shoe stores, the rights to sell their items. Within those contracts are things that if you don't meet our standards, we can strip you of your rights to sell our items. There was a local shoe store, Prime Sole. The Nike reps, I guess about 10 years ago, started basically shutting down mom and pop stores because they felt they were competing with their online sales because Nike was shifting to more online. So they started going into these mom and pop stores saying, hey, we don't like the way you're displaying our shoes. We're taking your contract. You must remodel your store to these specifics before we would, they don't even say, they say, you have to remodel your store to these specifics. The owner of Prime Sole then asked, well, if I do that, do I get my contract back? They couldn't and wouldn't answer that. So he's older. He's got family to take care of. He's like, do I put $100,000 into my store on maybe I might get Nike's contract back, or do I just retire? And he retired because Nike's controlling the whole situation. They went around the country and did this to a lot of places. They want their stuff displayed in a certain way. I think it's with Foot Locker. It might even be with other retailers too. That this, I don't remember how long ago I learned this, and if it's still in play today, I would think it is because you never really see it. A place like Foot Locker is not allowed to advertise Nike shoes at a discounted price or at a sale price. They're not allowed to advertise that because it brings down the brand name Nike. So there's a whole bunch of different things that go into a contract when they go out. So in order for that brand to protect their authorized retailers, the people they give permission to sell their merchandise, some of those companies have always been fighting against eBay, trying to. But with the First Doctrine Act, which means if you own it, you can sell it, it's very hard to do, right? I mean, you go beyond that, you're in a communist country at that point, in my eyes. But the loophole they found and use now is if you can't sell our items new because you're not an authorized distributor of our items. Now, I don't think this is like new vintage, more like new current. If it's something within a certain amount of years or something that's still being sold somewhere else, companies are starting to do that. Levi is doing that. If you try to sell new Levi's, especially overseas, you're going to get popped. Any Levi's I get in that are new, I put them up as used. Now, Harley Davidson has jumped on board. This is the first time I've heard Harley Davidson doing this. So Harley Davidson has now jumped on board. I know there are other brands on board who have been doing this, and I cannot remember who they are. I cannot remember at all. And I know there's a couple of women's brands that's doing it. But I wish I could remember. But you got to be careful. Like, I put barely anything up new anymore when it comes to brand name stuff. If it's a lower brand, I will test the water, like Wrangler jeans. I went ahead and put those up as new. We'll see what happens type of thing, right? And that's been months ago, but I don't even know if they're still in my store. But so here's my deeper theory beyond that. eBay, as we know, is going after these bigger companies, saying, hey, sell on our eBay marketplace. We have a huge audience. So they may be reaching out to the likes of Levi, Harley Davidson. Let me check that one. And here's my deeper theory. And it does not look like they have one. Reebok, they did or do have an eBay store. Have we had any problems selling new Reebok? No. Guess what? Probably within the contract or the terms of service, eBay is a distributor of that brand because they have a store on eBay. I don't know that to be factual. I'm just in theory going with that because the brands that I am noticing that are taking down Veroing sellers for new items do not have their own store on eBay. Levi's does not have an eBay store, that at least not coming up in Google, and Harley Davidson doesn't. Usually when you type in eBay store and a brand name, it's the first thing that pops up. Like I'll type in Reebok right now and see if it pops right up. Because I know they had a store. Yeah, Reebok has an eBay store. So we're probably never going to have any problems with selling new Reebok because they are on eBay selling new product. So that could technically, in a loophole somewhere, make eBay an authorized distributor. So they might be reaching out to these companies, trying to get them on board so that resellers can sell their items on eBay. Because can you imagine how many listings they lost between Levi's and Harley alone that are getting viraled probably every day? And those are two high-selling items, and how much money eBay would be losing, being that they cannot sell those items on the website. There's also within some brand contracts with like a brick and mortar, they'll say you cannot sell our stuff online, or you cannot sell our stuff on Amazon and eBay. You can have your own website, but you can't do eBay and you can't do Amazon. So depending on the company and their contract with whoever it may be, there's always different specifics to what they can and can't do. So as this landscape's changing, we have to keep up with it or we're going to get penalized for it. And eBay is in no position to say, hey, you can't sell new Levi's, you can't sell new Harley, because then people might stop selling Harley, period. Levi's, period. And plus, who's to say within a year from now, they can't convince Levi or Harley to say, okay, we will open an eBay store, and then the floodgates are open, everybody can sell new Levi, new Harley, right? So that it may be one of those things, or just maybe the whole poor communication that we experience every day with eBay. Either way, there's always more going on behind the scenes than we know about. We're the bottom of the food chain when it comes to this stuff. So if we don't watch out for each other, we're the ones left laying in the road and nobody cares. Man, I'm talking too much. So this video is more of an attempt to educate people. So please like this video so it can grow and more people can see it. Because the more sellers that get educated, the less problems you're going to have, the less worries you're going to have. So as of right now, what I'm doing different, because of the different counterfeit things that seem to be going on with these bots. If it's a brand name in the title, do not use unbranded as the brand, even if it is. Use the brand in the title. If it's a name that's questionable, then that's on you if you take a chance. I've got something called a place, there's a beach or destination or something called Honda something. I took it down. Honda, it's a major brand. I ain't gonna risk it. There was a couple of things like Toyota something, and I don't know if it was, if other things are called Toyota, but I didn't want to chance it. So I didn't mess with them. Yeah, there's a Toyota financial service, Toyota cars. The financial service may be owned by them, actually. But they invest in other things too with their names. So I can't think off the bat what the hats were, but they weren't like car dealerships or car related. But it said Toyota something. So I didn't want to take the chance with the name, because if I did, it just wasn't worth it for me, basically. So that's what I'm doing different. Like that Jaguars t-shirt, I mean, that's a 1 in a million thing. That one still is wrongfully done and still makes no logic with the word Jaguar, because that is has many more meanings than just a unique name for a company. So, Nintendo is a unique name for a company. There's only one Nintendo. Jaguar means many things. That's why I'm still not 100% sold on that one, but I'm 90% sold that that's the reasoning, because it happened on international sites instead of the US site. So those are the things I'm doing. Those are the things that seem to work so far with the hats. And with not putting up new Levi's, not putting up new Harley Davidson now. That's a new one to me. I never seen that one. So yeah, anything that comes in new, if it's not like a vintage piece or just a little name, I'm not putting it up. And one search might be, see if that brand has an eBay store and make your determination on that. If you get a new Reebok in, you go, well, should I sell this new Reebok? Should I sell this new Adidas? Is it going to get popped? Do they have an eBay store? I think Adidas even has an eBay store. Oh, did I close that out? Maybe I did. I've had no problems with Adidas so far. I guess they don't have an eBay store. Well, they got outlets. So the Adidas outlet has an eBay store. So that's probably why they do have an eBay store right there. So that's probably why we have no issues with selling new Adidas. So I don't know. We have to figure it out ourselves. So Nike does have an eBay store. Now you can sell new Nikes in the US. You can sell them in the country that they are released in. And see, that's their loophole. They might be tied in with eBay now that they can't say, hey, you can't sell our products new, because they're selling on eBay themselves. But they found a secondary loophole where you can't sell our shoes to a country that has not that shoe has not released in, and you will get a Vero for that. Now I know that's new, but I've got it blocked for used just in case. None of my Nike stuff, period, goes on international websites. I know it's new. I don't know if it's used. I don't think it is, but I'm not 100%, and it's not worth the risk. So you have to pick your battles. So that's their secondary loophole, that they can't, I'm sure if they could, they would say, you can't, you're not an authorized retailer of Nike, you can't sell our products. But they've been on eBay for a long time, so they might be locked in for who knows how long with this terms of service agreement, depending on how it's worded. If it's worded in a certain way, it'll never go away. But if it's only worded to the length of time, say eBay is selling on, or Nike is selling on eBay, if Nike pulls off eBay, can then they come in and say, hey, you're not an authorized retailer, you can't sell our product new? I don't know. We're never going to know that until it happens. But I think it all depends within the the service agreements with eBay themselves. So Nike's a big enough company where they're going to find secondary and third and fourth and fifth loopholes. They've got the knowledge, the lawyers to figure it out, right? That's what makes a successful lawyer. Knowing those loopholes. Whether you're a lawyer for politics, a lawyer for business, a lawyer for law and order, the most successful ones know the loopholes and how to use them to their advantage. So that's where everything's at. I hope that all kind of made sense. Usually I feel like I don't explain myself well. I feel like I've really narrowed in on it and made good sense out of it. Let me know below. And that's where it is. So that's 30 minutes there. We're going to ship some stuff out and get this stuff going. And I'm still power cross listing. I'm still going to be drafting and listing on eBay. But instead of worrying about getting 100 or 200 up, I'm going to do, 50, 100. And then everything I do upload gets automatically put into Vindu. And then I'm going to spend more than 1 hour a day now getting that stuff up on Posh. So, because we never know what's next, that's the scary part of all this. We never know what's next. We never know what's going to come until it hits one of us. And then we have to figure it out ourselves, learn from it, and hopefully teach each other. So comment on the video, like the video, share the video so it can get out there. So at least the first 30 minutes can educate more resellers and hopefully alleviate some worry and stress. That's the biggest thing for me, because worry and stress kills me. Somebody made a comment yesterday that you could see it in my face. Worry and stress kills me. That's why when I was asked growing up what I wanted to be in life, and one of my responses was always happy. Stress and worry kills human beings. So if I can alleviate that just a little bit with this video for you fellow resellers, then I'm very happy to do it. All right, let's get into today. What happened yesterday? So I was on this platform of $500 average, from $428 to $521, $493, $494, $500. So I was right at that 500, we'll just call it 500. It was a little bit low average, but 500. Then I went to 4 days where I was averaging 620, 618, 640, 611, 644. Might be closer to 630. We'll just say 620. Then I went back down to the $500 range. And then yesterday I was at the $550 range. Today we're at 10:13 a.m. I'm at $192. But I did get up. I notice when I get up at 3 or so in the morning, like to let Courtney out, I'll come into my office, accept any offers I have. It kind of interacts with the eBay site. I kind of notice that normally I'll have a little bit more money in the morning. And that could just because I took offers in the middle of the night and they paid before I got up. It could be something as simple as that. The timing of when the person who wants it sees it. So on their way to work or something. So that's probably just timing there. But it's a difference. But does that difference then snowball the day? I don't know. But yesterday it seemed like it shut off again here and there. The thing I noticed that was different was during my $600 days, my organic items sold 17, 20, 15, 18. Then my organics yesterday fell back down to 6. So my organics were getting seen, which was pushing me about $130, $140 higher every day because my organics were being seen. Now yesterday my organics seemed to suppressed again, and my sales dropped almost $100. Today, as of right now, it's showing 7 promoted, 4 organic. So if it stays with that feel, I'll have a $600 day. If that 4 organic only grows by 2 or so, 2 or 3 by the rest of the day, say by 7 p.m., then it's probably going to be a $500 day. If I can call the shots on what my day is going to be, I either A, have one sturdy-ass foundation store, or something's being controlled. Now, I know I have a nice sturdy foundation store, but I've never in 22 years have been that sturdy to get almost the exact same amount daily. I've never been that sturdy. It's always been, maybe 100 less here, 100 more here, within 100. And then when the eBay problems, there could be a $700 difference between each day, depending on what's going on with the website. I've never been $20 to $40 difference every day. It's never happened. So is it the fact that I got great foundation stuff mixed with whatever the hell is going on? And it's not really a controlled thing. I don't know. And we'll never know. We have to figure it out ourselves. And that's what I like to do in these videos. And then share that knowledge, or what I see, not even really knowledge, share what I see, my theories and stuff with you guys in order to try to enhance your reselling business, your eBay store, etc., etc. So, again, I want to thank you guys for the support, the likes, the comments, the affiliations. Vendoo has exploded for me in affiliations the last month. The link is below. Save 25% on your first month. The number of... Somebody made a comment in my live yesterday. So if you watch me live feed lounge, the link is below. I'll probably go live for a little bit today. Somebody made a comment that I should make eBay watch the live of me cross-posting, because yesterday I was cross-posting on the live. And I made the comment of how many people have signed up through my Vendoo affiliate. And if that's to happen with just me, can you imagine the people who's using Marcus's affiliate, Angie's affiliate, Kristen's, everybody else's affiliate to start cross-posting? It's a mass migration right now. A mass migration. That being said, how will it affect eBay? Because right now, with the whole COVID, there's been more sellers on eBay because there was more buyers on eBay. Well, now that things are back to normal, there's less buyers on eBay, but the sellers are still there, and that's why they're starting to drop off. So if you can stick through it, I believe if weird things don't happen within the next 12 months, I believe the 2024 fourth quarter is going to be outstanding because many sellers have dropped off. Many have since, but for the next 12 months, I believe many more are going to be dropping off. Because not everybody's going to adapt like some of you guys say, hey, time to cross list. Not everybody's going to adapt because maybe they're part-time or, they've got other obligations. They don't have the time to put into that. So I think we're going to be sitting better in a year from now. And hopefully that will also include the fact that the eBay site is working better by then. Because even yesterday it was airing out on me. So all right. I'll skip the questions and comments because I talked a lot. So let me just get to shipping some of this stuff. Because I got a lot. And you're going to see a pattern here. You know how I say before where I haven't sold these in a while, then all of a sudden you get a huge influx of those items? That happened today, but that could also be the time of year. And it's not jackets or sweaters. So, let's get into this. Okay, that's not pulled, that's not pulled, that's not pulled, that's not pulled. All right. So I hope that helps some of you guys, put you at ease If you know of anybody or see anybody that is asking questions because of Harley Davidson or Levi's or any newer brands or brands that are new that they're trying to sell, but the used is no problem, show them this video, share it with them. The more that know, the better off we'll all be. I'm trying to be the, I don't know, what am I trying to be? I'm trying to be like the eBay whisperer or something. I mean, I'm not the longest selling eBayer on YouTube, but I might be, if you combine the biggest when it comes to store volume, the biggest when it comes to subscriptions, subscribers, the biggest, and then throw in the years and throw in the amount of time per day, I may be the biggest. I don't know if I am. I'm just saying. If you put all those four factors together. So I might be the best suited to see this stuff. As I've said before, I could always tell when there's patterns because of the size of my store, because of the 22 years of experience knowing what my store does, what it should be doing, etc., etc. So many people, used to trash me because of that, but the way I look at that is they just don't understand. They or they don't even have the care or the time to try to understand. So, all right, let's get going. First up, we've got this Coca-Cola vintage visor. Like if this came new, I would sell it new. Coca-Cola, I don't think has any issues anyway. But if Coca-Cola was a brand and you were worried about it being, would they take that down? The fact that this is vintage would probably exclude it from that. So, but Coca-Cola has no issues. So as long as it's legit. Oh, another thing I wanted to throw in. Yesterday, when I was talking about Gildan shirts being taken down because of what's on them, I had two people comment that they had Ford items taken down that were on Gildan t-shirts. Well, here's the thing. Ford has its own brand. So if they don't have a registered trademark on that shirt or have a tag, Ford and GM will say legally licensed by GM, licensed by Ford. So if you don't have that on it, it's going to be a counterfeit. If you get a car show shirt that says Corvette Club and has Corvettes on it, it's a local thing somewhere, you put Corvette in the title, you're probably going to get popped. On those, I just put in car show and put the shirt up. They can figure out that it's Corvette. Because if I put in Corvette to try to bring in the Corvette people to buy the shirt, well, I'm also bringing in the company that says, hey, we did not authorize that shirt. That's a boot. We didn't okay that shirt. Same thing with Ford. Same thing with any of those brand names like that. Look for, like Infinity has a license for, it's either GM or Ford, and it'll say Infinity and used via permission, licensed by GM, something to that nature. A lot of the newer GM and the Fords will have their own logo on it also, whether it's a t-shirt or a hat. So those, I understood why they were taken down, because chances are they were not legit. The one had said it was a Mustang, like a racing shirt that had a Mustang on it, and he probably put Mustang and or Ford in the title, and it got taken down. Well, yes, that's going to be taken down because you're using a brand name to sell something that's not brand authorized. So the authorization thing is a huge key word in all this. All right, I don't think this visor is going to fit in an 8x6x4 hat. I think I'm going to need a little bit bigger one, so it doesn't get bent up. Bent out of shape. Yeah. Actually, I should do my, I only got three Poshmark here. Let me get a bigger box real quick. I keep 10 by 8 by 4s for these like larger sun hats and these big build vintage visors. Or if somebody buys, you know, say 3 trucker hats from me, or even 2 sometimes, I'll put them in these. So they don't get totally squashed in 8 by 6 by 4. All right. That's going to the Colony, Texas. That's what I should have done, the posh first to get them out of the way. Next up, we've got this burgundy winter hat with the ear flaps that gets hairy real easy and quick because it's so fuzzy and furry. That's headed to Seattle, Washington. Sold for $10.50. Okay, perfect. Tracy. Why do I recognize that name? The last name, I don't want to say it, the last name, but I know that name from somewhere. I mean, there could be many other people that have that name too, but. All right, next up, we've got one of the trends I was talking about. When's the last time I sold a pair of denim jeans? All right, so we got JM Collection women's blue jeans. Sold for $14, headed to Richmond, Virginia. The rich man north of Richmond. Ain't it crazy how that song blew up for somebody? How overnight their life changed? That's so cool. That's like something I've always dreamt of, but I've never been good at anything to blow up as. So that's what I'm kind of hoping the Dolly channel turns into, right? Trying to get good enough at doing that goofiness that channel blows up. That would be kind of cool. Something I've always dreamt of. But always fought to find a talent that could do it. So the thing I'm having fun with the most right now is the Dolly channel. And I've been getting a lot of praise from my transition in my voice from mine to hers and hers to mine, and how quick and seamless it feels like two people talking. So that made me like kind of proud, you know, because I don't practice that. So it's kind of cool to see and then I watched a few other puppet channels, and at least the 2 that I checked out, they don't have that. You can tell it's the same person. You don't get lost in the puppet, where I'm getting the feedback that you can feel Dolly has her own personality. So I like that. St. Louis Track Club hat, staying here in St. Louis, sold for $7. So, I mean, with a little bit of feedback so far and my love of doing it, that one's where I'm holding my dream of blowing up. Some of those puppet channels have like millions of subscribers and gets millions of views. So there's not really any reseller channels that are in the millions. So ConocoPhillips hat sold for $10, headed to Texas. Texas. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with Dolly, her channel is linked below also. Dolly does everything. Or sorry, Dolly does whatever. Dolly does everything was the second to last skit. Dolly does whatever. Dustin. Next up, we've got a 45 record that sold for $4. Headed to McDonald, Pennsylvania. Jan Brown. Yesterday I didn't add no videos to any other channel except my live one. I had one scheduled for Tuesday that came out, but I didn't do any yesterday. I was just not in the mood after what had happened and trying to figure it out. So I got to get back into that consistency today. Because on 3 of the 5 channels, I am at least, you have to do 11 hours a day, 77 hours a week for 365 days to get the amount of watch time you need to be monetized on top of the 1,000 subscribers. So I've hit that 11 hours watch time per day on 3 of the channels and almost on a 4th already. Within how long have I been doing it? A month? So that's for having, 4, or I would say probably 5 to Dolly may have 10 videos. Dolly's the only channel that's not getting it. And I knew that going in because Nora Jones promo CD sold for $17, headed to Seattle. But I knew that going in because all of her skits are can be from a minute to 2 minutes. So the only way that channel is going to get monetized is if it blows up. It's getting thousands of views per video, type of thing. So. Where the other ones have longer watch time per video. So that's another thing I'd like to thank you for. If you're here and you pay any attention to any of my channels, I appreciate it. Next up, we've got this Mickey toothpaste holder. It's been in or toothbrush holder. It's been in my store for quite a while. Sold for $8, headed to Washington. All day yesterday, all I kept doing was constantly checking my inbox for the next eBay problem. Like right now, I just got the urge to go check it to make sure I'm okay. And I am, so thankfully. But I hate having to worry about something like that. Okay, 12, 6, 5, 4. And then with I think the only thing that's going to help, well, not the only thing, but change your mind will, but to help change my mind so I can enjoy vacation in 1 month's time, Like in 1 month from today, I should be in Nashville at the Benz. So one thing is changing my mindset. One action is going to be making sure I cross list as many items as I can before I leave. It's a cassette I've got hundreds of. XUXAs 3. I don't know who that is, what it is, but sold for $7. Headed to Massachusetts. I'm not sure why these are coming up set. Alrighty, Keith. I think I covered everything in my talk. Next up, we got Percy Faith. Christmas is vinyl. Sold for $5. Headed to Dixon, Tennessee. Next up, we've got Bell Sky denim skirt, long skirt. That's sold for $14. Headed to Los Angeles. Next up, we've got Are You Ready for a CD Live? Yeah. The band's called Horse. 2 CDs. They sold for $4.20 a piece. Alrighty. And remember, if you need any bubble mailers or poly bags, the Giro Pack link is below. Save 10% on your order on the lowest price bubble mailers and poly bags out there the last time I checked. Why does it always throw when you buy 2 or more into ground advantage instead of priority or instead of media? I don't know. Ooh, what was that? That was my tummy talking. Next up, we've got a Harry Potter scarf. And that's sold for $10, headed to Wisconsin. Da, 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 da. The last 2 days, I've ate a lot less sweets, a lot less cookies. And instead of a soda yesterday, I got a frozen Coke, which is worse, but not worse because I finished the frozen Coke quick So then I drink water and other stuff, where if I have a soda, it's pretty much nursed all day. And then I never touch water or Powerade. So getting the frozen Coke's actually probably better for me than getting a soda, even with the sugar. When it comes to hydrating my body, anyway. But I didn't get one over the weekend. I didn't even leave the house, I don't think, over the weekend. Still, I got it yesterday. Alabama Nike hat. Headed to Pennsylvania, sold for $9.50. Hey, and plus yesterday I felt like dying anyway, so it didn't matter. All cards were off the table. Like, I'm at that age, right? It feels like now when something happens, I'm just like, you know what? Just kill me. I had a good run. I'm done. I'm okay with dying today. Fine. I had a nice life. Didn't make all my goals. Didn't become YouTube famous. Well, I may become a little bit. I get recognized, so a little bit of that. So that's enough. Sports Commission St. Louis hat. Headed to Colorado Springs, Colorado. Sold for $9. I've got to cut some boxes free. Come free, boxes. I've got to find a mirror for Jan's car. The dealer says, well, we don't have a shop that can change. The Volvo dealers around here now don't have any collision shops or anything to do any work on cars. I'm like, they sold me that program when I bought the car for her, and now that program they don't have. I'm like, well, we can sell you the piece. I'm like, yeah, no. I'll find it cheaper elsewhere if I have to buy the piece my damn self. And you're not going to do the work anyway. I should just look and see if there's a video out there, because I'm pretty sure I have to take the whole inside of the door apart to take the old one off and put a new one on. Probably wouldn't be too difficult, but do I want to waste a whole day doing it, or learning to do it, and then another day doing it? All right, we got some women's jeggings. Eddie Bauer. And these had Elcott City, Maryland. Sold for $9.50. Alrighty, Carla. Next up, we've got Stars and Stripes Forever cassette tape. Headed to Washington, D.C. Sold for $7. Dr. James reporting for duty. And by duty, I don't mean pooping. I I already did that this morning. Probably why my stomach's talking to me. All right. TMI is I. Wow, you would go crooked. Go straighter. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Alright, it's already all filled out. Next up, we've got Bandolino. Headed to Springfield, Missouri. Sold for $14. Denim jeans again. So you saw all these pants that sold in one day. I got a hair in there itching me. I know it. I can feel it. It's tickling me. It's tickling me. It's tickling me. Are you any of you guys a fan of like Gold Rush? Like, I love that show just because I love the whole business side of what they do. And how cool is it, the fact that Parker's 28 years old is now one of the biggest miners up there. How crazy is that? Spending $15 million to buy that land. That is awesome. I love seeing people succeed. Even though, you know, he was a silver spoon kid, right? His grandpa was successful. His dad was successful. But I don't think he was like spoiled silver spoon. They don't look like that. They look like silver spoon, but you got to work for it. Get your ass to work type of thing. So he appreciated the hard work. And I love seeing people, no matter if they came from money or successful parents or came from nothing, succeeding like that. It's pretty cool. Joseph A. Shirt Jan or sweater Jan found. Sold for $9, headed to Kansas. So yeah, I don't know. It's almost just cool to see people succeed doing what they love to do. And just become an expert at what they love, you know, I mean, I remember before Tony Beats was on that show, it felt like it felt like he was just this big portrayed king, right? And now, 10 years later, Parker is nipping at the, you know, is next in line for that, you know, so it's pretty cool to watch somebody grow into that. But I think the person beyond Parker that I respect most on that show is Mitch. Because unlike so many other people who just couldn't take the grind or Parker's growth, becoming a immature, how to handle people, to trying to figure it out, basically. Couldn't handle the process of him trying to figure it out, like Brandon or Rick and what have you. But the fact that Mitch is stuck around and has become, and is probably getting very well paid to be that as dedicated as he is. I know if I had that guy, for that long of a time, seeing the people that did come and go, that I would make sure he was paid enough that he would never want to leave. But I think him coming from Todd Hoffman side of it, where there was failure after failure, he appreciates what he has. So I have total major respect for him. Mad respect, I'll say. Even with, having a little girl now and wife, and only gets to spend, half the year basically with them. The fact that they've made it work, and he's not one of them who whines and, about it. They figured it out to make it work. However, that it is happening, whether they come up there and they're just not on camera I know he gets a break and gets to go home for a week during the season, or maybe even more than a week, because I'll see him on Facebook, like out in his boat with his family and stuff. So I don't know why I got me talking about that. It's just something to talk about, I guess. Something different to talk about. I talk about anything and everything that's on my mind. So, oh yes, and this is my first Nightmare Before Christmas shirt when it came out that I got. So this is vintage, nice vintage piece on Fruit of the Loom label, not a Disney label. Oh wait, we were here before. New record. No, I'm not even pulling straight. I pulled straight. I'm right here. Mary. Deborah. Thomas. Oh, I forgot to change that to ground. Damn it. Alright. Carla, sorry. Carla. John. Huh. I laugh because it's a famous name that's not really used. It's a famous name, but the person goes by another name. Al. There you go, Al. Amy. Amy was my greyhound girl. One of my greyhounds I had was named Amy. Trevor. She was a racer. Came from the Kansas City racetrack, I believe. Diane. She was they grade the racers. She was a grade B racer. Most of her races, she either won or came in second place. Or was she a grade A? I don't remember now. It's been a long time. But she was, maybe it was grade A. Like, she won most of her races and come in second on a few others. And then I think she came in third on one when she raced. Cute. So it felt good giving her a new life. I mean, it feels good giving any puppy a new life. But sometimes certain ones just hit you a little different, like Burn did. couldn't read the word I wrote on there, bin. I'm like, it looked like I wrote bill twice on 2 different ones. So I'm going to make sure I got the right one and the right one. Bill, okay, we're good. Joris. Annette. Tracy. Tracy was probably the first high school friend / kind of girlfriend who died back in like 2011-ish. Right after she had a baby too. That kind of sucked. Something like an organ failure. I can't remember which one it was. I didn't even know until after she was gone. All right. Next up. Knock these pirate ships out of the way. And then we'll do the posh. We got Burning Flame CD. Headed to the UK. Sold for $8.40. Wouldn't it be cool, like after you die, you're like still around, but we just can't see you, but you can like go anywhere and everywhere, like in space and stuff, but when somebody talks about you, it comes through like a text or something. That'd be kind of funny. They could be over in Galaxy Sigma Phi and they get a text that somebody talked about them. And of course, by text, I mean a telepathic text. I still lean to the side that when you're dead like a computer. But I hope I'm wrong. But I hope I'm wrong, 'cause I don't mind being wrong. Alright, next up we've got, are you ready for a cassette lot? 5 cassette singles headed to Canada. Sold for $21. REM, Puff Daddy, Mace, and Matthew Sweet. This nose is just too itchy to do. Alrighty. 2064. Canada. Headed to Canada. Okay, and we've got Desmond Child CD long box headed to Canada. Sold for $10. Oh wow, that's new. Pirate Ship now suggests which one I use. But it's 10 ounces. I need to modify that because it is 12 ounces. $10. Huh. I was smart enough to pick out my own package detail. So that's something new. Huh. How did it know to pick my... Maybe it sold before this one. Maybe that's why. Maybe the history within the system. That could be it. That's probably it. Because it's a CD. So why would it pull up my LP box? Because LP is not in the title. So gotta be the history of this item selling. Because I've got many of them. Many of them, I say. Many of them. And now we are on to Posh. So first up, we've got another Jan find, one of her Christmas wall art things she found at the bins. Super light, sold for $8. Headed to Maryland. Throw it in here just so it don't get squished in a mailer. You know, squishing it won't hurt it. I don't want somebody to get mad. Say the box was squished. I personally wouldn't care if I was going to use it, but I'm not everybody. Next up, we've got a Rainforest Cafe cap. Denim style with the frog. Sold for $16. $16. And I'll make you holler. $16. I'll make you holler. And by holla, I mean you open package and go, oh my God, I can't believe I got this in the mail today. Next up, we've got so yesterday I cross-listed a lot of shoes and a lot of clothing. And this was my first shoe that sold that I cross-listed. And we got some purple Nikes. And those sold for $13. Alright, I still have not ordered my big... Oh, wait, I can use this one. That's right. I can use the free stuff. Because it is priority, yes. Because I'm free. Do what I want any old time. or I'm conditioned to accept the illusion of freedom that I can do anything I want at any old time. That's more reality-based. The glue on these priority bags just not good. Not good at all. No bueno. Por favor. All right. Hola, me llamo Jaime. ¿Y tú? There's a few offers to take here. $14 promo CD single. Those have been picking up in the last week. 4 that one day, 1 today. And there's stuff that I've had in the store forever. $7 for a $20 St. Louis Rockets jersey. No, thank you. But I will let you have it for $12. And the Cars Anthology CD for $3. No, I got 7 on it. No. I'll counter you back at $5.99. How about that? All right, let's see where I'm at, and then I'll let you guys go if you're still here, because this is a long-ass video. Still at 192, so I haven't grown. It was at 192 when I started, right? Or when I announced. Actually an hour ago. Almost an hour ago. Well, that stinks. Thanks, eBay. Oh, there's my payment thing. That thing was delayed. Move to there. All right. That was the things I just took. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Check out my live. I may go live today, probably live. And later. I hit it, but I did.